Guys, this is a really quick video on something that seems to be up in a lot of people's worlds, and people are starting to ask me about basically what's going to happen in 2021 and what's going to happen with this we'll be invited to have put into our bodies so that we can have more freedom. I want to go beyond the concept of right and wrong, good and bad. There are so many people who are pro having something popped into them, and there are a lot of people that are anti it. I'd like to invite you to another possibility, which is, are you willing to take full responsibility for anything that occurs as a result of taking it or not taking it? So I'm walking around because I'm just go with the flow of what's coming through me energetically. In the UK, there's some research that I happen to have followed the route of because people passed me some information or I became aware of it, and I wanted to see for myself rather than just believing what somebody said on a link. There's three key things. There's one where the MHRA, which is a regulatory agency for medicine and pharmaceutical products, have now awarded a contract to a company that are basically going to use AI software to log all the adverse reactions. Basically, the current systems for our regulatory authority aren't up to scratch to take the volume of cases and information they believe will be generated as a result of people having that put into their bodies, and that the number of adverse reactions, ADRs, will be so high that the current system can't handle that. So they've already awarded that contract, and that's being built now, or has been built. The second bit is in August there was an open consultation again by the government, which basically said they wanted to change how they dealt with these things. The reason I'm not speaking it is because I know so many people are getting censored, so I'm not speaking out the word. And so one of the things they wanted to pass was basically making sure that no one, neither the pharmaceutical companies or anybody administering these lovely little things, would be liable for any complications or any adverse reactions. So if you choose to take something and something happens to your body, to anybody you know, everybody's off the hook. The third bit, which I've got to look at in more detail, so I'm going from memory and I'm about to research this tomorrow, is an international law which I believe came off the back of the Nuremberg trials, the Holocaust, that no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what the state of emergency is, that you have the right to refuse medical intervention. So you have the right to say no to something being put in you, as a divine right, if you like. So there are the three key aspects there. Shit is going to happen. The government's expecting that. 2, they're not liable for anything that happens. And 3, you have the right to say no, to not give your consent. And interestingly enough, I just saw a lovely piece, I believe it's BBC, that Coventry Hospital was shooting. They were showing the training scenario where 2 nurses were role-playing, getting ready to roll out all this stuff. And the first nurse basically said to the second, do I have your consent to administer this to you? And the one that would be receiving it, i.e. the patient, said, yes, I consent. So there is always choice. That's the high level stuff, and I'll probably include 3 links to each of these things I've just spoken about so you can see it for yourself and you can follow that through. So that's that aspect. What's deeper than that, though, is that basically, if you think about it, what are we being asked to do? We're being asked to let something or someone take ownership of our bodies if we agree to having something put in us, which we've been doing for much of our life and society. But this is a whole nother level. Is it possible to have something that once it's put into you to get it out? I would say at a deeper level, yes, with immense levels of fasting, there's a possibility that could be withdrawn. And maybe not, because if it starts to play around with the fundamental structure of your body, what might that create? But what's even more key here is what are we willing to give up, give over in exchange for, what do they say on in the Avatar movie? When they're trying to take over that planet, that world, and talk about the people, and what? Basically, for them giving up their unobtainium under their tree of life, their sacred tree, we're going to give them what? Blue jeans, tarmac, a bud? As in, what do you really want to exchange? Do you want to exchange by having something put in your body so you can possibly go out for dinner and may still well have to wear something over your face anyway because the rules keep changing? Do you want to put something into your body just because you may be able to go on holiday but you may still need to go into quarantine? Do you want to put something into your body that you have to have done every 3 or 4 months? That you have to do to prove that you can go to the cinema? It's all about what's important to you and knowing what you're trading. And also realising that we are the 99% on the planet, to use that kind of adage, right? So just because we're being told this has to happen, and then the rules keep changing. If you look at from the beginning of this amazing thing that's happening on our planet, this whole experience we're going through, in the beginning it was all about saving our health services, and the narrative keeps changing, doesn't it? From our health service being overwhelmed, to minimising obviously deaths, to it being then about number of cases, and then how many positive readings, and then about making sure that even if we have something put into our body, that doesn't mean we won't necessarily pass it on. There's so many different narratives and how it keeps changing. The goalposts keep moving. And there are so many people questioning. So I've really just shot this, what I was going to hope being a quick video, it's now 7 minutes long, just to give you maybe a little bit of information you didn't have, so you can start to think about what this might mean for you. I'm going to shoot a much longer video, #NoFilters, which will be the normal hour, talking about really what I see is going on in the world behind the scenes, and what we're being invited to, what else is truly possible beyond what we're maybe being told just in terms of our mainstream media. So I hope this is some kind of contribution. I'll post this very soon, and guys, be in touch soon. Big love for now. Bye bye.